didn't they just pay me? What was the big deal? What do you do when your client refuses to pay you for your time? You bill them and they don't pay. What do you do? I'll tell you what I did in my real client experience coming up.
I'm Claire Jefford. If you need any more clarity for your interior design business, make sure that you get in touch with me. My website is www.clairejefford.com. I've got some fabulous free resources and some purchase items if you want to dive a little bit deeper and invest in your business and make sure that you rock your consultation and that you've got your processes organized.
Hi there and welcome back to my channel. If you have been with me for any length of time, you will know that I like to share the real stuff. These are real experiences, real things that happened to me, the good, the bad, the ugly. How did I deal with it? What went wrong? How could I have done it better? A little bit of my Widwill, if you're familiar, in my Facebook group, Interior Design Business Strategies, where I would do my Widwill. That was what I did and what I learned. Okay, first off, I'm apologizing about the glare. I'm hoping that this works well. Like I said, I just wanted to bring this to you, and on a totally different note, it's my son's birthday today. He's 15. Oh my gosh, where does the time go? Happy birthday. Love you, Adley. So I'm gonna go through a few different things here. One, I wanna break it down. I want you to feel free to ask me any questions about this. I just wanna put it out there that this stuff happens. So what happened when my client refused to pay me? Okay, so let's take it back a notch though. How many years in business was I when this happened? I was 4 years in business when I took on this client. How did the client come to me? It was a referral, so that always stings a little when the referrals don't work well at the end. So the referral, just to give you a bit of a backstory on that, was from somebody who'd been following me on Facebook for a long time, and they referred me to this friend that they had. So it wasn't even them that have ever hired me, but they've been watching what I've been doing on Facebook. That's why I always talk about how important it is to do your marketing, stay top of mind, keep up with those posts and those videos, because even if the person watching you doesn't need you, they could very well and often do refer you to somebody else who's looking for design services. The scope of this project was my as and when you need me service. This is a service that I started off with when I first began my interior decorating business. I wanted to get my foot in the door. I was happy to do any sort of project in terms of what was the scope if it wasn't a full room and maybe the client needed some help just styling it at the end, or they needed help picking finishes for a kitchen or bath renovation. So that's what this was. Once discussing with the client and figuring out that there was quite a bit because they were renovating a lot of the home, I requested a $2,000 retainer, and the initial consultation was $175 an hour, always minimum of 2 hours, so that was $350 for the 2-hour consultation when I was 4 years into my business. For this project, what I worked with these clients was helping them choose finishes for their bathroom, for their kitchen, helping them with drapery ideas, and installing some drapery and window treatments. Also some soft furnishings, so area rugs, custom pillows, and what else did we do? We did wallpaper, so it was kind of just a little bit here and there in each room. So I didn't get to photograph the space as a final product, which is fine. It gave me a lot of experience, which is always great. Now, what went wrong? Where did it go wrong? Actually, it was going very well for a very long time. I probably worked with them for about a year, intermittently. But what happened was, literally, the previous visit to my final visit, which I didn't realize would be my final visit until I was told that I wasn't getting paid for something, and was literally coming in. I'm a huggy person. If you've met me, I'm a huggy person. So, hugging before the visit, talking about, what I had sourced and where we were at with the project. When I left, hug, kiss, okay, see you next time, that sort of thing. So just setting the stage, everything was fine. And then when I came back for what was to be my final visit, we were just doing some last minute, installs. And then I said, oh, by the way, I have my invoice here. It's just $100 that's remaining, because the retainer covered everything, basically the whole project and all. They purchased $5,000 worth of product from me approximately, and my fees in total and plus the consult was $3,500 plus the consult fee, so about $4,000. I did have a letter of agreement. We went through that very thoroughly. I have a letter of agreement. If you don't have one, please make sure that you do. And it just outlines how I work and how you deal with, messages, text messages, communication, your hourly fee, dealing with trades, purchasing a lot of furniture, and that would be a separate contract. But we had that in place. So it was very clear. The terms of how I worked was very clear. And like I said, we'd been working together for about 6 months to a year, and I had invoiced. So what I do is I will send an invoice, and even though I have the $2,000 retainer, maybe this invoice, I know that we're still gonna be doing a lot of work. So for the first invoice, let's say it's $750, I did not add in any of that retainer because I knew that, you know, we were doing a lot more stuff, right? But then later on, maybe the next bill was $1,500 and I applied $500 of the retainer. So I always like to make sure I've got something held back. Too many designers in the industry are not getting paid up front for either product or for their services. My outstanding bill that was left that I didn't get paid for was not even anything worth crying about, but some designers I've had heard hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands. Don't do that. Get the retainer, have your letter of agreement and your contract signed, make sure that your clients know how you work. So what happened here was the final visit. So I asked about the invoice, and they said, oh yes, I did get the invoice. They got me the invoice. They had taken a copy of it, taken the time to highlight one line item that was worth $18, 15 minutes of my time at the time, and I had followed up on an order. And you know, it's kind of interesting because I'd done that before throughout the project, so I'm not really sure what went wrong here. Maybe they just didn't want to work with me anymore. What had happened was something hadn't come in, and so I was checking with my workroom that the fabric had come. My workroom said, no, the fabric hasn't come. I was like, oh, that should have come by now. So I went back to where I ordered the fabric from, followed up with them. They went back and followed up with the supplier. Then I got the email back. Then I emailed back my fabric company, and you know, so 15 minutes, I billed 15 minutes for that. It indicated that that was not something that they directed me to do, and they will not be paying for that item. And I just smiled and I said, okay, thank you. And I thought, wow, we've worked together for nearly a year, and over $18 for a 15-minute follow-up that I was doing for you to make sure that the order came in on time. You know, I'm pretty much done now with this project. So it just seemed very odd. What I learned out of that, like I said, it's very important to have a retainer. And it's also important not to beat yourself up. I mean, I truly, unless I did something else wrong, I truly don't think there was anything that I had done that was out of line or would have warranted, you know, kind of terminating that working relationship. So I really brushed it off. I was able to, you know, dust yourself off and try again. You can dust it off and try again, try again. And that's what I did. Because often we're really easy, you know, we're really quick to beat ourselves up and be like, what did I do? What could I have done better? And really for this one, I was just like, okay, I don't really, and everything went well because the visit before, 2 weeks earlier, we were kissing and hugging, you know, that sort of thing. So that is my real client experience of when a client refused to pay me. Please don't put yourself out with money. Literally heard a lot of stories about this in my group. Speaking of my group, are you in my group, Interior Design Business Strategies? It is a free Facebook group that I have exclusively for designers. And if you want to make sure you're rocking your consultation, you've got your processes already down straight, it's so important. It's so important because even sometimes when you lay it all out and you go through everything, things can still go, you know, pear-shaped depending on the situation, but hopefully most of the time not. But when you're organized, you feel a lot better about all of your processes and you do get better clients. So make sure you check out my website, www.clairejefford.com. Make sure that you run a successful interior design business. Until next time, I'll see you. Comment below. Have you had something like this happen? I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Dust yourself off and try again. You can dust it off and try again, try again. I'm gonna get away with this. You know what? So much to think about when you do a video. I just want to get my message out there.